Okay, so let's see where all of our things go. First thing I see, gilded rose. That goes in the gilded rose file. So this goes over here. Again, it says that it needs items, but let's wait. So let me extract that item into its own file as well. Oops. Okay, so this item over here, I'm going to copy that over here. Okay, so that's better. And this item over here, I can import it from wherever it is, all thanks to IntelliSense. And next we have, so this is gone, the dexterity vest. So I'm going to extract that into its own file as well. Woo, wow, dexterity vest. Okay, then I have aged brie. So everything goes into aged brie. Wow, this thing has dexterity vest as its constructor. I'm going to import item. Imported item over here. Look, it's still giving me errors, but just wait for a while, bro. Elixir of the mongoose. Let me import item. This is elixir. Oops. Elixir of the mongoose. This is sulfuras. Okay, this should be sulfuras constructor. This is backstage. Yeah, import item. This is backstage, and then we have conjured mana item. Okay, conjured mana item. Cool. I need to, okay, everything over here, I'm gonna take it to main.dart, and yeah, better. Okay, don't save that. So I'm gonna remove this file as a whole, and now I have all of these files. And look at this, all of the concerns are separated now. So it's easier to look at these files than looking at a single file with thousands of lines of code. Okay, so let me actually, okay, so main.dart needs some imports. The first one is items. Now the second one is gilded rose app. Then you cannot actually create your instance of item because an item is now an abstract class. So the way this should work is, this is the dexterity vest. Okay, and I should give it a selin and its quality. Okay, this one is aged brie. Again, selin quality. I don't really need this new statement over here just because this is Dart. Elixir of mongoose, selin quality, sulfuras, hands of Ragnarok, selin quality, sulfuras, hands of Ragnarok, selin, oops, and quality. Backstage. Whoa. It's a small mistake. I should probably I should have copied all of these names because this is dexterity vest and I'm naming elixir of the mongoose as dexterity vest as well. So ouch. Let me get it. Let me get the name. So this is the name for elixir, this sulfuras, hands of Ragnaros. So this is a typical kind of a mistake you would make when you're copying and pasting stuff. So be very careful if you do decide to copy and paste stuff. This guy is backstage. Oops. This is conjured mana cake. Okay, and we have aged brie. So how do you spell aged brie? Okay, so I'm gonna control Y my way all the way to wherever we had reached. So backstage, this is selling, this is quality, this is also backstage, and this is also backstage. I'm gonna remove these guys, call it selling, this is quality, remove backstage, call it selling, call this thing quality, and this is my conjured mana item. Ooh, it should be conjured mana cake, but yeah, whatever. Quality. Oops. So let me rename this to conjured mana cake instead of item. So everything is renamed and everything looks good. Now we have to refactor all of these, okay? Because this update quality function, it's not working yet. Okay, and everything else looks good now. So let's update this. Okay, so is aged brie. Is this thing aged brie? Oh yes, it is, because I already know that. So I'm gonna, okay, so first thing I'd wanna do is anything that says items at whatever index you're on, I should probably rename it to this. So items at whatever index you're on, I'm gonna rename it to this. So yeah, everything looks nice and everything is working fine now. Yeah, do the same thing for backstage. Oops. Items at whatever index you're on, rename it to this, and everything works fine. Same thing over here, same thing over here, same thing over here, and same thing over here. Now let me show you something interesting. So we have all of the same code for update quality in every single one of them. And when I do kata slash kill rows, oops, what went wrong? Main dot dot, everything should still work fine. It's still working fine. Okay. Now we do another step of refactoring, which is refactoring all of this. Even though it works well, each update quality function should only be interested in updating stuff for itself. Okay, so let me actually do it this way. So instead of using name, now what I can do is, because I know it is aged brie, I can just say this is true. Okay, is backstage, this is going to be false. Is sulfurous, this is also going to be false. Look at that. My IntelliSense shows me all of these if statements that are useless right now. So let me remove all of the things that are useless. So this is useless. Okay, I have my else statement, which is always going to execute. All of this is useless, and this empty if statement is useless. Wow, look at that. It's a lot of code reduction. Is sulfurous, not is sulfurous. This is always going to be true. So I can remove that if statement. This thing, the entire thing is not going to exist. So okay, and since it is it is always going to be aged brie, I know that this else statement is always going to execute. So I can put in that. This is better. This is so much better. You see that? And whenever you see an if statement inside another if statement, there's no else statement, you can refactor it this way. Copy that, paste it over here. Whoa, what's wrong? Get that, get it over here, and remove that if statement. Wow, so much better. And I don't need these variables. See that? See, just because we separated our concerns for each single item, our code became much simpler. Now, would you tell me that this code, right, this update quality code over here, I mean, you should compare it yourself. Which one do you think is easier to read, right? This long one or this one? I mean, clearly it's this one, right? The one that's short. Better. Very good. Let's move on. Let's do it for backstage. Okay, is aged brie? We know that this is always going to be false. Is backstage, we know this is always going to be true. Is sulfur, we know this is always going to be false, because we're talking for backstage. And look at that, my IDE suggests me stuff that I should remove. So let me remove it. So first thing I remove this if statement. I end up with this. If something is backstage, okay, I know that this is always going to be the case. So I know it is always going to be backstage. So I don't need to refactor anything else. Okay, is sulfurous, is not sulfurous. I know that is always true. If it is, okay, so this entire if statement is not required. Okay, and look at that, not is backstage is always going to be false. So I know that this else statement is always going to execute. I know that it's not aged brie, so this else statement is not required anymore. And I already know that something is not aged brie, so I don't really need that if statement over there. Look at that. And I don't need these three variables. Wow. This is much better. This is much easier to read. Okay. Can we do anything else? Does not look like it. Does not look like we can do much over here. So let's just move on. Conjured mana item. I'm going to do conjured mana item in the last. Let's look at dexterity vest. Is it aged brie? Nope. Is this backstage? Nope. Is this sulfurous? Nope. And this entire else statement is no longer needed. I always know that this if statement is going to yield out a true value because it's not aged brie and it's not backstage. So I don't need that if statement. I need that quality check, and look at that. I don't need that is sulfurous check, like is not sulfurous check, because I know this is a dexterity vest is not sulfurous. So that's removed. This else statement is not needed, right? And this else statement is not needed. Everything goes away. And look at that, is not backstage. Is this not backstage? Yeah, this is always going to yield out a true. So I don't need that. Is this not aged brie? Yeah, it's not aged brie. I know this, obviously. So I can remove that. Would you look at that? Not is sulfurous. I know this is always going to be true. So I can remove that. And when you say if statement inside another if statement, just make that a single if statement. Okay. Look at that. I mean, all of that code was for this. Okay, so this is better. I know that is not sulfurous is always going to be true because is sulfurous is always false. So I can remove that if statement. Good, good, good. That's very good. It's very easy. Okay. Elixir of mongoose. Is this aged brie? Nope. Is this backstage? No. Is this sulfurous? Nope. So if all of this is false, it's the same case as the dexterity vest, I think, because this thing had the same output. So we can just refactor it because yeah, let's remove that if else statement. I know that this if statement is always going to be true, so I don't need that if statement. I can just is not sulfurous. I know that's always true. I don't need that else statement over here. I don't need this else statement over here. I don't need is not sulfurous over here because it's always going to be true. It is always going to be not backstage, so I don't need this if statement. I don't need this if statement. And when you see two if statement around, you combine it into one if statement with an and. So good. And then still checking is not sulfurous, which is always going to be true, so I don't really need this. And I don't need these three variables. Look at how much better the code is. Wow. Okay, sulfurous. I know that this is false. I know that this is false, but I know this is true. Okay, so what should we remove? I know that this is no longer required. That empty if not required. And this has quality function, has no function. I don't need the entire else statement. I don't need an empty if. I don't need this if statement because it's always going to be sulfurous. I don't need this, right? I don't need that empty if. I don't need the empty if else. I don't need this. I don't need this, and I don't even need this. And looks like for sulfurous you don't need anything, right? You don't update the quality on sulfurous. See, I would not have known that, right? It was not immediately obvious in the long code. Now let's do the same thing for conjured mana item. This is false, this is false, and this is false. Okay, this else is not needed. I know that this edged, not edged and not backstage is always going to be true. I know not sulfurous is always going to be true. I don't need that if. I don't need this else because my IDE says so. I don't need that else because my IDE says so. I know that not backstage is always going to be true, so I don't need that. I don't need not is I know it's going to be true. I don't need not is sulfurous, it's always going to be true. And this is going to be an AND statement, and we're going to take that quality, make it into a single if statement. Wow. And this not is sulfurous is no longer needed because we know it's always true. Not is sulfurous is always true. Good. That's so much better. Now let's look at, we made this code very easy to read, and one more added advantage is that if I ever wanted to add an item into this system, it's much easier because all you need to do is, let's say I want to add an item. What should we add? Staff. Okay, staff of wizard. Staff of wizard is what we want to add. If I wanted to add this item, then I just need to say staff of wizard, and I need to make it extend item, right? And then it will show me the things I need to update, and then it shows me the name. Okay, so I can just put the name of it, say staff of wizard. So I don't need this name over here now. And then I just need to implement the update quality function, and it is very easy to implement update quality for staff of wizard, okay, because I have separated my concerns for each item. Okay, so let's say the way you update the quality for this one is you just do quality plus plus. Look at that, it's so much better, right? So this is how you would refactor. Okay, so this is okay, and let's do one more check, which is let's run this code, and you'd see that there's no difference at all, okay, between the output of the code. So this is how you would refactor without any knowledge, and that was the Gilded Rose refactoring kata.